Content warning. This video discusses sensitive topics, including self-harm related to depression. If you found your way to this video, there's a good chance you're looking for advice, motivation, or maybe even a new perspective on life. I believe that nothing happens by accident, and if you're watching this right now, there's a reason for it. Maybe it's time to rethink some things and find a way forward, and I'm here to help you with that. In this video, I'm going to talk about what depression really is, how it can be fought, and how we can shift our mindset to see things in a more positive light. I'll also share my personal journey, what I've learned, and how I've faced it. So please stick with me until the end. I hope you'll find something helpful here. The reality of depression. Right now, over 300 million people around the world are living with depression. Every year, more than 700,000 lives are lost to it. And for each death, an estimated 20 times as many people are struggling with self-harm. It's clear that depression doesn't discriminate, and it affects so many of us in ways that are often invisible to those around us. But why does it happen? Depression can stem from a combination of different factors, biological factors. Sometimes it's in our genes. Imbalances in brain chemicals like serotonin or changes in hormones, such as thyroid issues or postpartum changes, can all play a role. Psychological factors, negative thinking patterns, low self-worth, and constantly dwelling on our mistakes or failures can leave us more vulnerable to depression. Environmental factors, major life stressors, trauma, social isolation, or even ongoing financial struggles can trigger or make depression worse. What depression looks like. Light to medium depression involves persistent sadness, fatigue, and lack of interest, but doesn't completely disrupt daily life. Severe depression is more intense, with feelings of hopelessness, extreme fatigue, and difficulty functioning, often leading to significant impairment in daily activities. Severe depression typically requires professional treatment, while light to medium depression may improve with support and lifestyle changes. While depression can feel overwhelming, the good news is it is treatable. There are options: therapy, medication, and lifestyle changes. The key is reaching out for help early. I've been there. I know what it's like to feel alone in your struggle. It can feel like there's no one who understands, or that no one would care even if you want them to notice it. Even if they asked, you would brush it off and say, "No, it's nothing, I am fine." But you don't have to keep it inside. Seeking help doesn't make you weak. It's a step toward healing. Depression can take a toll on your body, mind, and soul, but there are ways to fight back. How to fight depression. The most straightforward treatment for depression is therapy, but so many people avoid it. Maybe it's because they don't want to admit they're struggling, or maybe they feel ashamed or scared to talk about it. But it's so important to speak up. It's possible to live with depression for years and not have anyone notice. Your family, friends, or colleagues might not see it, or they might be going through their own battles. But waiting for someone else to help won't always work. Sometimes you have to take that first step yourself. Let me share an example from my life. A few years ago, I was fired from my job because I became seriously ill, and it was work-related. The long hours, sometimes up to 12 hours a day, and managing over 10 subordinates while doing the same work they do took a real toll on my body. At the same time, we received a letter saying we owed a massive amount in taxes to the government. So there I was, sitting at home with no job, no money, my 2 little kids, barely able to speak, and my wife, who was also weakened, all sleeping in our shared bed. I was just sitting in my small office, drowning in self-pity for hours. Eventually, I went to bed, to my children, and hugged them while they slept. Their tiny warm bodies gave me more power than any motivational speech or amount of money could ever provide. I told myself, I know I'm in deep trouble, but if I do nothing, nothing will change. So I decided to try. I spent days learning how to handle taxes and made several phone calls to the tax bureau. Months later, I found out that the tax bill was a mistake on the government's part. While the stress had definitely aged me, the tax bureau had to pay us back almost the exact amount they originally demanded. As for my old job, the day I had that motivational boost, I went to my lawyer and sued the company. I ended up getting more money from them than I ever could have earned working there. With that money, I could afford to stay at home for 3 years, during which I gradually recovered from my illness. I was also able to support my father-in-law in building his business. Right now, with only 5 to 20 views per video, I can say that some people might not like what I have to say, but I'm a religious man. My life is a lesson to myself that when God closes one door, He opens several others. Even though my father-in-law's business didn't turn out the way we expected, we supported each other during tough times. His story is still unfolding, and he faces his own struggles. Just like I said, when one door closes, another opens. In my case, my health was preserved because my old job would have killed me before I reached 40. Just a few days ago, I heard from former colleagues that the department I worked in is now closing. After 4 years of leaving that job, recovering my health, and having the precious time to watch my kids grow up during the pandemic, I received a unique job offer that I accepted. Even as I write this, my own humble story motivates me. It truly shows me that God works in mysterious ways. It took years for me to crawl out of the deepest parts of depression, and I still struggle with it sometimes. But when that happens, I remember the lessons and tell myself there's probably a good reason for why certain things happen. Believe that some things will happen, they just need time. We do not live in the times of wonders. Everything has its own logical turn, so have some patience. And now some advice for you. What's dragging you down in your life? Is it worth letting it control your life? Is it because of another person? If so, ask yourself, is that person suffering the same way you are? Why let someone who doesn't even care about you or think of you in this moment influence your life? You only live once in this world, and it's your right to be happy. Maybe it's financial issues. Maybe you feel poor, or maybe you're in too much debt. Perhaps you trusted the wrong people or made an investment that didn't work out. Maybe you've been working hard at something, but you still haven't succeeded. Let me ask you this. Is your journey over? No? Then why let things that can be changed by your own actions drag you down? Take the first step. Give it your best shot and believe in yourself. If it doesn't work out, at least you'll have learned a valuable lesson, and the next time you'll be more careful. That lesson could save you much more in the future, which can also be your journey to maturity and your success if you don't give up now. It could also be due to physical differences. Maybe people bully you, or you feel like you don't fit in. There's no such thing as a textbook human. We're not products made in factories. Even bullies will grow up and change their views on life, and maybe even feel ashamed of their past actions. Don't let others dictate your life. You are loved and cherished by someone, whether you realize it or not. You were raised with care and with incredible amount of love, and your family and friends see you in a light that might be hard for you to see right now. Or do the expectations of others weigh you down? Are you too ashamed that you can't fulfill the dreams and wishes of what others expect from you? Why do you feel the need to live up to their standards? You should choose your own path with confidence. It's your life, so let it also be your mistakes. That way you can't blame anyone else. Make it known that you will do what you believe is best for you in the moment, not what others unrealistically expect from you. Perhaps you're grieving the loss of a loved one. This one is much harder to deal with. But ask yourself, isn't it true that all of us will face death someday? Even though it's scary, who can remember anyone's name from 100 years ago? Why not keep the memories of the ones we've lost alive and live in a way that would honor them? Personally, I believe that life is a temporary state, and at some point, we will all meet again in a better place. In my belief system, taking the life God entrusted to you cuts off the opportunity for that reunion in the afterlife. So stay strong. When you feel down, remember this. You are, were, or will be important to someone. You are the world to someone, and that someone is worth living for. You are perfect the way you are. None of your struggles now will be your struggles forever. One day you'll look back at this time and either laugh about it or say, yeah, those weren't the best times. You'll be proud to have made it through, and you'll be one of the survivors. Always believe, even if you can't see it yourself, that even bad things can happen for a good reason. Sometimes they can be a blessing in disguise or a trial meant to toughen us. It's like a man who wants to sail out to sea, but his boat breaks, leaving him demotivated at home. On that very day, a huge storm comes and destroys every ship out on the open sea. Or think of the orphans who live in a house once shared with their parents. When the wall breaks open, letting the wind rush in, they discover the gold coins their parents left behind. So much from my personal point of view, but wait, the video is still not over. And when you reach your first milestone, clean up your room, take a step outside, talk to others and seek advice. Stop ignoring the issues tormenting you. Take a step toward the direction that will free you from your shackles. This was the third part of the Reset Chronicles. Be sure to check out the first two videos, where I discuss how to boost positive hormones naturally and which mental health issues can drag us down. There are 4 more episodes to come before I leave this channel to grow, where I will not be producing any more videos. The next videos will be about anhedonia, OCDs, how to deal with them, anxiety disorders, and panic attacks. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have your own story, please share it in the comments. Maybe we can do some active feedback videos where I can help guide you through your struggles. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next episodes.